Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the football podcast. The guys are here, they're talking football, games gone, obviously a little bit like the New Year sort of area games, and games to come. We're into the swing of the year now, and we're back to regular football. Oh yes. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Share that podcast around, people. If you know someone that's into the football, like you're into the football, send this podcast in their direction. They will love it. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, Football Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's been a while. We haven't done a football podcast since before Christmas, as we decided to have a little self-imposed winter break, as it would be known as in the football fraternity. So obviously, like I say, welcome back. I'm not alone. For those of you watching us on YouTube, you'll see the other two smiling, happy, joyous faces of Mr. Moore and Mr. Woodmansey. How are we, gents? Did we have a nice festive period and New Year?
For half of it, we'll get to it.
Yeah. We'll cover that when we get to that particular game. Oh dear. But we won't waste any time. We'll jump straight in. We're going to do this a little bit differently because we've got about 85 games to get through, so we're not going to discuss much of any of the games until we get to a certain game that will become clear when we get to it. I'm just going to rattle through the scores and the points that people got. So we started off with Boxing Day fixtures. The first of which was Middlesbrough versus Blackburn. Not much to say because about this one anyway. It was a 0-0 draw. No one predicted a 0-0, but me and Stu did both predict a 1-1 draw. So we got a point each. Matt had a 2-1 Borough win, no points. Second game of Boxing Day was Sheffield Wednesday versus Hull, and I know that Mr. Woodmansey was in attendance. Do you want to just give a little brief sort of annoyance, grievance?
I mean, I can very quickly go through it. I've been to Hillsborough a few times before. Very much confirmed from the moment that we entered the ground, it's still an absolute hellhole. If you ever visit Hillsborough yourself, make sure you've had a piss before you go, because the chances of you actually getting to the toilet are about the same as you getting served. They tried to fit 4,000 people into essentially what was a corridor that was about less than 6 foot wide. It's just horrendous. The football from Hull wasn't much better. Went behind, equalised, went behind again, equalised again, against a team that are essentially bottom of the league. So we drew 2-2. We came away with Mohamed Baloumi injury, which he said at the time was cramp. They also sent him for a scan over Christmas, and it's been confirmed that he's probably going to be out for around 3 months. So it wasn't just cramp. But yeah, Ingleson and Kadamatari for Sheffield Wednesday. Baloumi did score before he went off, and then Mr. Matthew Crooks with the equaliser for Hull.
Very nice. No one got any points for the result, as everyone had a Hull win. I had 3-0 McBurney, Baloumi and Giles. I got a point for the goal scorer. Stuart and Matt both had a 3-1, and they both had Kadamatari as their Sheffield Wednesday goal scorer. They both also had Crooks as one of their Hull goal scorers, so they both got 2 points for that. So as we go into the third game of the week, it's 2 points to me, 2 points to Matt, 3 points to Stu. Our third game took us off Boxing Day, and it was Nottingham Forest versus Manchester City. And sadly for Forest, this one was a 2-1 win for City. Reinders got the first. Hutchinson did equalise, but Cherky got the winner. Points across the board on this one. Matt had gone for a 3-1 City win, so I got a point for the result. No goal scorers, sadly. I had a 2-3, and I had Hutchinson as one of my goal scorers for Forest. So I do get a point for that, a bonus point for that. So 2 points to me. Stu had a 2-1 Manchester City win. So 2 points for him. He also had a Cherky goal. So a bonus point there. So 3 points for Stu. That means he's got 1, 2, and 3 points in consecutive games. Very nice. 6 points to him, 4 points to me, 3 points to Matt. Our fourth game of the week took us to, well, it was just a random Monday night because it doesn't have a term for the 29th of January. And it was Middlesbrough versus Hull City. Oh, did I say January?
Yeah, you did.
Never mind.
Festive hangover for Paul.
I'm so distraught by what I saw that I clearly just don't know what month I was talking about. Yes, Middlesbrough versus Hull. It was a reverse of the fixture from 3-4 weeks previously when Middlesbrough won 4-1, and Hull took their revenge. Did they not, Mr. Woodmansey?
Not for the want of Borough trying. I don't think I've don't think I've ever been to a game where we've been absolutely battered for 95 minutes and then still won 1-0. Bit of this. They did set up with their wing back system, so 3 in the middle, and then Louis Coyle, and it was supposed to be Ryan Giles on the left, and then 3 minutes in, Ryan Giles got injured, so they had to have a bit of a shuffle around, and they brought on youngster Cathal McCarthy for only his second appearance for the first team in the league. Welcomed the opposing team to his style by immediately getting booked. And then he pretty much settled down after he'd put that guy in the third row. So he actually had a pretty good game from that point onwards, I thought. But
yeah,
Borough were just relentless. There was probably, I think I had a look at the possession statistics for this, and Borough were well in the 70s. Hull just couldn't get out of their own half for most of it.
Yes, 71% Borough, 29% Hull.
But the
23 shots for the Borough, 4 for Hull.
But the goal came on 12 minutes. It was Darko Giebi, and whilst he finished it, it was pretty much the work of Carl Joseph just doing what he does best and just running and running and running. The ball looked like it was going out for a goal kick, to be fair, and it didn't. He managed to keep it in and pull it back for Giebi to tuck it. I think it was keeper's bottom right from where I was sat.
Yeah, it was like near post. He sort of just like slid it straight back where it come from, basically.
It was too much on it for the keeper to get anywhere near it. The keeper didn't really have any chance because the defenders were still sort of tracking Joseph as opposed to picking up Giebi coming in, and created the space. But from then it was all hands on deck, defending. I do feel like it's been Hull's best defensive performance of the season, but that was probably only matched by sort of some of the bad finishing as well from Borough. As much as Paul might not want to hear that, there was two or three clear-cut ones that went begging.
It was. I think we obviously discussed it on the walk back to the cars. But it was your typical Borough could have played until literally today and not scored. They were just the like you say, there was a couple of clear cut chances. There was one that Hackney had that hit the post and was flagged for offside. Watching it back, he actually was onside, but wouldn't have mattered anyway because he hit the post. Yeah, there was a lot of balls into the box that were just played aimlessly with no looking up to see if they could spot a player and pick them out. It was basically just hit and hope, and they just ran out of ideas. Basically, Hull did well. They did what they needed to do. Were resolute, sort of like got back in their banks of like 4-5, whatever it was. Yeah. Didn't even. I wouldn't even say that they resorted to like shithouse tactics. To be honest with you, they weren't as if they were just like fouling people all over the pitch and stuff like that. So fair play. Can't really argue.
It does do my head in though, where not just for that game, but they get themselves in front or back on terms in some cases, and then their go-to seems to be just sit as deep as you can. For the majority of that Middlesbrough possession, anything between the edge of the halfway line and the edge of City's 18-yard box, Borough just had free reign because the City just sit far too deep, and it happens too often. And we'll get to that again shortly, I'm sure.
So JB on 12 minutes. No one had him as the goal scorer, and Stu was the only one who had a whole win as part of his prediction. So he's the only one who got points for that one. So he's extending his lead. 7 points. 4 points to me, 3 points to Matt. 1 game left of week 18, and it was one Mr. Moore was in attendance for Nottingham Forest versus Everton. And I bet you weren't. I bet you wish you weren't in attendance for it in the end.
I think I was trying to work it out kind of when I'd last been, and it's like, I think when we finally drilled down into it, kind of actually going to the City ground, the last time I might have been was when Forest got promoted from League One. I was but a whippersnapper then, it'll be like 2008, so it's been like
Jesus,
nearly 20 years since I've been, because variety of reasons. So it was nice to go, park up in the usual place, and walk through, holding your breath, making sure you get there all right, and then walk across the Trent, obviously the bridges that influenced the kit 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. Down to the stadium. I think I obviously didn't get to mention it because we kind of whistled through the Man City thing, but the day before the Man City game, it was announced, we were told that John Robertson had passed away. 72, I think he was. I think it's in that kind of there's quite a few of the European Cup winning team have passed away. Others are now managing Celtic, which is totally random as well. Got in one breath, and obviously John Robertson's synonymous with Martin O'Neill anyway. There was still tributes around there. So Forest have kind of got, they do a random sponsor a brick kind of thing. I presume both of your grounds have got those. Don't know why Forest have introduced sponsor a brick to something that was already built, which is kind of weird. So it's like a brick shaped plaque kind of thing that goes on the thing. But they've also kind of done like a Hall of Fame, Walk of Fame thing. So around your little, if you're a Forest fan who paid for your little brick, you get a brick-coloured brick, but like shiny. And in the middle of the brick is a square, much bigger, silvery brick that's the name of an ex-Forest player. So, as you're wandering around, like Des Walker, Stuart Pearce, Ian Storymore, all players that Forest fans have either seen or know. Like Ian Storymore was a name that was mentioned to me constantly. He's a player from the 60s. Obviously still lots of tributes kind of lying around for him. Obviously for the Man City game, they brought out an old Tifosi for him. I think it's like, if you give him an inch of grass, he'll conjure up magic, and kind of loads of kind of things like that. And I think a couple of days after the Man City game, Marinakis recommended that the Bridgeford stand is going to be renamed the John Robertson. Well, he's recommended to the board, of which I would suggest he has a substantial say. Rename the stand the John Robertson stand. Part of me thinks it'd be nice if they're going to redevelop that stand in the stadium. It'd be nice just to do it once it's redeveloped and opened. But I kind of get the feeling it'll be rushed in. Kind of good to be back in the ground. Forgot how small it is and how tight it is to get around. Obviously, the exec stand was something that was built in the late 70s. Then the game started, and Oh, well, never mind. I think, again, Forest stats were very similar to Borough stats. I think we had like 70% possession, and you could see it. We had the ball most of the game, just couldn't do a whole lot with it. And I think we watched the Bournemouth game together in October, November time, and a lot of the same stuff from that was happening in the game. Elliot Anderson obviously very annoyed with everybody because nobody's as good as his England teammates. Gibbs White kind of being a bit of a pre-runner and stropping around the pitch. Defender, the defenders were good. Nico Williams was outstanding. Amari Hutchinson looked good. Was kind of in and out of the game. Hudson-Odoi had a good first half. Second half went off the boil. Jesus ran himself into the ground. And then just before half time, Gibbs White let James Garner run, and Garner slotted it into the back of the net. Like, nice finish. And to be fair, he got a bit of a round of applause because obviously he was at Forest the year we got promoted. Forest brought on Douglas Luiz at the start of the second half, and he gave us some real impetus, and then it dissipated out again. Only for towards the end of the game, like, as Forest were pushing a little bit more, ball played out by Everton. Garner got the ball again, played it through to Barry, who Zinchenko had let run, and he put it past the Forest keeper, who I didn't think had got a touch on it, but seeing the highlights, he did actually get an arm to it, but it was a decent finish. And at that point, people started flooding out. And it's kind of like one of those things where, obviously all around the ground, we're rubbish with this, we're going down, and it's kind of like, well, we had the ball most of the time. It just, I don't know, Awoniyi looked way off the pace when he came on to replace Jesus. Bakwa looked good, really quick, like really kind of had their fullback on skates. But yeah, disappointing 2-0 loss, but nice to be back. Hopefully try and get to go back again at some point this season. So it's not another 20 years, or nearly 20 years.
Yes, fingers crossed. No points for anyone in this one. No one had an Everton win. And the people who had predicted Everton goals had gone for Grealish to score. So we finished the week with no points in that last game, which means that Stu takes the win. 7 points from 5. Myself, 4 points from 5. Matt, 3 points from 5. We'll rattle through the next set of games, which started on New Year's Day. My lot went to Derby, did exactly the same as they'd done against Hull, bossed the game, didn't really take their chances, conceded a stupid goal, lost 1-0. Clark, 70 minutes. No one had picked Clark as the goal scorer, so no points there, but I was sensible enough to pick the fact that I thought Borough were going to lose, so I'd gone for a 2-1 win, so I get myself a bonus point for that. The less said about Derby winning, the better. New Year's Day was also taking place at the MKM Stadium, where Hull welcomed in Stoke City, and much the same from your perspective?
Well, third game in just a few days. It was safe to say that whilst they started the day 2 points off the automatic promotion places, Hull did not look like a side that were interested in that whatsoever. It was a game too far, I think, really. Very, very lethargic. Both sides weren't great. Things to note from this one would be that the goal was scored by Robert Bozanic for Stoke, and then was taken off in the second half with what sounded to be a very bad shoulder injury, as we could hear him from where we were sat as he hit the deck. It was a bit of a sickness. And it also created the longest amount of stoppage time I've ever witnessed in person, because at the end of the game, there were 17 minutes at a time, and it was bloody freezing. We did hit the bar twice in the game. Once with Charlie Hughes when the ball came loose off a corner in the first half, and Casey Palmer hit like the joint of the crossbar and the upright perfectly. The ball pinged down, landed smack on the line, but not over it because the referee's watch did the no dice thing. And annoyingly, it finished 0-1 to Stoke. I think there's some weird statistic now that for something like the past 5 seasons, they've not beaten us at their place, but they have beaten us at ours. And we tend to win there, they tend to win here, but I wasn't aware of that actually before kickoff. So maybe had I have known that, maybe the predictions might have been a little bit more feasible.
No one had a Stoke win. Matt was the only person who gave him a goal, but he did pick Bozanic as his goal scorer, so he's the only one who got a point for that. So Matt me a point from the first game. Stu yet to score. Third game of the week took place at Villa Park, and it was Villa versus Nottingham Forest. Not great reading for Forest, unfortunately, as Villa run out 3-1 winners. Watkins opened the scoring in the first minute of injury time at the end of the first half. And then John McGinn got a brace in the second half. But Morgan Gibbs-White did eventually get a goal back on the 61st minute. Not great. Another game where Forest have conceded just after half time as well, which is starting to become a bit of a worrying trend, it seems. Stuart gone for a 2-2 draw and had Watkins to score as one of his goal scorers, so point there. Matt had gone for a 2-0 Villa win with Watkins and Rodgers, so 2 points there. I'd gone for a 3-1 Villa win. Nice. And I'd also picked Watkins as one of my goal scorers, so I got 3 points for that. So 3 points for me, a point for Stu, 2 points for Matt. The next game saw Hull versus Watford.
No, it didn't.
But it didn't see Hull versus Watford, did it? Because what happened?
We all went to the ground. I'd had a lovely little catch-up with Rich, and we'd had a couple of pints, and then quarter of an hour before the game started, go through to our seats with the boys, and the announcement came over the tannoy. The game has been postponed. Obviously, we've had some bad weather. They used blowtorches to try and melt the edges of the pitch, which was just the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my life. Ground staff actively damaging the thing that they spend their working days trying to preserve. The pitch itself was playable. The edges of the ground weren't. It was deemed unsafe for the players warming up, potentially for the assistant referees. But the pitch would have been playable. But then apparently the referee took the choice. Hull have since put out a statement about it, saying that all parties were in agreement. Watford have since put out 2 statements about it, saying that they weren't in agreement. So, whatever. I hope you enjoyed your £100 to come and buy a tray of chips and then fuck off home again. Stop whinging about it. If the referee calls it off, Sheffield United called their game off as well. A few other ones in the area were called off. All of the League Two fixtures were lost, I believe, the same weekend. It's just the way that they went about it was, it was bad. It was really, really poorly managed. And just to put the cherry on that particular cake, it was put out on social media before the people in the stadium were told.
Not a great look. Yes, I'm sure we could discuss this for many an hour.
Do you know what the recompense is for all the people who went? They're going to make the car park free for the rearranged fixture.
Oh God!
Because that won't be an absolute fucking bun fight, will it? Trying to get in and out of there. Anyway.
Oh dear. Yes. So technically, no game to go through. So no points to give out. We'll get a redo over of that when it comes to the game in the future. 2 last games to go through. Middlesbrough played Southampton, 0-0 in the first half, and then they went absolutely goal crazy in the second half. 4-0, they ran out winners in the end. Whittaker got 2, Silvera got 1, Brown got his first for the club. No one had a Borough win. We all had draws. And Stu and Matt would only predicted Whittaker as their goal scorer. So they're the only two who get points. Now, our last game saw West Ham taking on Nottingham Forest in the Nuno Espirito Santo derby. And he wishes they hadn't, as Nottingham Forest went out 2-1 winners. Murillo got a own goal on 13 minutes. Dominguez got the equaliser on the 55th, and then Forest got a debatable penalty on the 89th minute. It was a clear penalty. The keeper punched one of the Forest players in the face. Gibbs White, I believe it was, in fact. So yes, 100% a penalty dispatched by Gibbs White.
That is the one thing that's absolutely killing me. The fact that they're trying to debate.
Oh, just absolute nonsense. So Matt doesn't get any points as he didn't have any of the goal scorers and they've gone for a 2-2 draw. Stu had a 2-0 Forest win. Point for him. I had a 2-1 Nottingham Forest win. So 2 points for me, which means I got 6 points for the week. Stu 3 points for the week. Matt 4 points for the week. So it's a win for me. That's all the games done. Rattled through those nice and quickly. We are going to take a very short break and then we'll come back at you with week 20's fixtures, which are FA Cup games. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's FA Cup third round week. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And just like that, we are back, and we are back to talk FA Cup third round fixtures. This is obviously the part where we go through the fact that we've all been given glamour ties against, well, not in Forest's case, but higher league opposition or minnows where we can potentially go on a long cup run. And of course, this is the point where I have to explain that Forest got drawn against Wrexham. So obviously it got put on TV because Hollywood FC and that. Middlesbrough got drawn away at Fulham. So they'll get beaten. And Hull got drawn against fellow Championship side Blackburn Rovers.
Which means they'll get beaten. Paul says that we're here to talk FA Cup third round action. If the last few years have been anything to go by, this is the FA Cup weekend of the podcast from a Hull City perspective, and then we are done for the season.
Now, these are all being played over different days. So we start with a Friday night fixture. Is it on Discovery Plus?
I haven't got.
I believe this is one of the slew of games that finds itself on TNT Sport, which is available through Discovery Plus.
Be able to watch it.
Yes, of course. Of all of the games that get put on TV, one of them isn't Fulham versus Middlesbrough. So sadly, I will not be able to watch that as it's on Saturday at 3 p.m. And I don't have the perfectly legitimate streaming devices that are needed to watch said games. So, the first game, as we said, Wrexham versus Nottingham Forest. It is Matthew's team, therefore he will give the prediction last. I'll jump right in here. I've got a 2-1 away win. Expecting changes galore from Mr. Deitch to fully use the squad that he has at his disposal. I've gone for Kiefer Moore to score for Wrexham because it's Kiefer Moore, and shithouse is as shithouse does, unless he's got a penalty, of course, against one of our teams, and we all know how that works out. And then originally, I had gone for Kelly Muendo to score for Nottingham Forest. But that won't be happening anytime soon because he's gone off on loan to Eintracht Frankfurt.
It might never happen again, being as it's with an option to buy.
So I very hastily scrubbed that name out of the book and replaced it with Awonyi. And my second goal scorer, I think he'll get a start, and I think he's looked good in the games that I've seen him recently. I've gone for Bakwa to get a goal. I think he's looked. He's. I would say he's in the mould of Hutchinson in that he's been given a chance, and he looks like he's actually taking the chance. I don't think he's created anything that's ended up with a goal yet, but he's looking better. So I would have fully expected to start the game, and I'm hoping that he'll be rewarded with a goal. Stu?
I feel like since Wrexham played us and were terrible, they've actually been on a decent run over Christmas. So I can see them, particularly like you say, it's on TV and all the rest of it. I can see them fielding a fairly full strength side. I can say this now that he's committed to it, but I couldn't see Kiefer Moore featuring in their last game. I don't know whether that was an injury or whether it was because they're just resting him because
let's have a look.
Christmas. Forest haven't hit a stride properly, really, for a little while until they then pulled that last minute winner at West Ham. And these, full disclosure, predictions were done just before that game concluded. So I'd gone for Wrexham 1, Forest 1, but then I'm assuming at this stage we're still going straight. Is it straight to penalties or is it half an hour?
Oh, I actually need to check that because I have a penalties as one of my future predictions.
Well, I've put Forest. I've put 1-1 for the actual game, but then I've got Forest to win the tie.
Right, sorry, I was too busy trying to see if Kiefer Moore was in the squad. What was your result? Sorry, 1-1.
1-1, and I've gone for Hull old boy Ryan Longman to score.
Yeah,
and a man who sits a lot on the substitutes bench and is desperate for a goal, Big T.
Yes, but then you've gone for Forest on pens.
Just I put in the book to win the tie because I couldn't determine if there was extra time or not.
Cool. I'll stay down for a penalty shootout win. Which just leaves us with the Forest fan himself. What are you thinking, Matt? I'm assuming you're in agreement that there'll be a raft of changes.
Oh yeah, Forest after this game don't play again till the 17th, so that's.
Oh.
So I think it'll be an opportunity to give, because obviously they do this kind of shit version of a midwinter break where some teams get a week, some teams get 10 days. It's all spread over a few weeks, which is really weird. So I've gone for changes. I think there'll be a lot of players rested. A lot of players were looking really leggy against Everton when I saw them, and then they played another 2 games. So I expect like McAtee to get a start. I expect, like you said, Bakwa to get a start, and Joy is coming back. Aina might play because he's only played a couple of games all season, basically. But that being said, because everybody wants the Hollywood ending for the Hollywood team, I've gone for a 2-1 Wrexham win.
Okay.
I've gone for Kiefer Moore and Lewis O'Brien, old boy rule.
Damn it. Yeah, forgot about him.
And I've gone for Taiwo as well, because I suspect Wrexham might be at his level.
Ooh, bit harsh on old T-Ball.
Oh man, you didn't see him against that. Terrible.
Just double checking that I've got his name spelled correct. Yes, I got it correct. Lovely stuff. Second game is on Saturday at 3 p.m. and as we said, not on the telebox. Well, at least not on the telebox here in the UK. It's Fulham versus Middlesbrough. It's my team. I'll give my prediction last. So let's go straight back to Mr. Matthew Moore for his prediction on Fulham versus the Borough.
I've gone for a 3-1 Fulham win.
Oh,
I feel like they'll be full strength because they'll be looking for I presume they'll be wanting a cup run. I assume.
You would think so. It's a game at home against the lower league opposition. They should really be winning this and going further in the competition, shouldn't they? So,
and I assume that you might rest some players as well.
Fully expecting changes to be made. I think it's the first chance he's had to look at the fringe players in the squad, because it's a game that doesn't really matter. Whereas obviously all the league games really matter. So yes, I would fully expect it. I'd be expecting Subkeeper to be playing, some of the youngsters. Yeah.
Good. I've got Kevin to get one.
No known last name.
No, just Kevin. That's it. I suspect he has the woman, the mum from Home Alone, following him around, just shouting his name at all times. And then is it Kusi Azar?
Sorry, bless you. Yeah, I didn't get your second goal scorer there because you sneezed. Apparently,
Kusi
who?
Dash Azar.
Oh my good Christ! That doesn't even sound like a name. Is he playing tonight? Of course he's not. Oh, there he is. He's on the bench. Kusi Asari. Oh, lovely.
I thought it was going to be that his name's Kusi, and when he scores, he's like, huzzah!
And then Nipan.
Oh, I've missed a goal scorer there. Kevin Kusi Asari.
2 for him.
Oh.
2 for Kusi Azari.
I don't know what the crack is with Nipan, because there's talk that Man City might recall him. And there's a potential that if they do, they might ask us not to play him in the cup.
Right. I can't be bothered to look up another name, so I'm just going to leave it like that.
Okie dokie. I mean, like I say, he might. I think it's unlikely that he would go back to Man City and play anyway. Yeah. So they might not be asked if he's cup tied. Stu?
I have gone for Fulham 1, Borough 1, and Fulham to win on penalties.
Sensing a pattern here, ladies and gentlemen. Goal scorers?
Well, as with the Nottingham Forest one, somebody who plays up front for your side and is absolutely desperate for a goal. It's the last time you'll hear me say this name until he actually does score. So Conway for Borough. Surely,
honestly, don't even think he'll play.
Well, he fucking well should do, because he needs the practice. He was absolutely useless against Hull, and he just looked like a man who had recently taken it up, and his wife had bought him a lovely kit and shin pads. But he needs some confidence, and surely, like, I know that they're playing a Premier League side, but he just needs to score, man. Yeah,
well, I completely agree. I think by all accounts, it sounded like he had a much better game against Southampton, but then again, you could say that about any of the Borough players, because they obviously won 4-0. So
I saw in the highlights the huge diagonal ball from Ayling to Silvera for one of them. It's like,
it wasn't a diagonal. It was just straight down the line, and like, I don't know what the defenders were doing.
Are we bothering playing with a midfield here, boys? No, fuck it, just over the top. There you go, job done.
Ping it, good lad.
But yeah, Matt. This was the prediction I was looking forward to, and Matt has already beaten me to it, because I too, for Fulham, have gone for Kevin. I did also go the Home Alone route as opposed to and Perry.
No, I don't see Perry in the squad anywhere. So
his whole goal celebration, he's just run into the corner flag and thank you, Mrs. Patterson. See you.
Big fish, little fish, cardboard box, all that sort of lovely. Yes, I think you're both massively optimistic. In fact, I don't have a Borough goal scorer. I've gone for Fulham to win 2-0. I've gone for Harry Wilson and Old Boy Rule. Adama Traore. He never scores, so he's absolutely nailed on to score against the Borough.
Unless Nuno's might prize him to...
unless Nuno has got him to West Ham, in which case it would be very much wasted on my part. Which leaves us with the Sunday fixture, which sees Hull City taking on Blackburn Rovers. Now, I'm contractually obliged to ask. It's not a season ticket game. Or did the season ticket even exist at Hull anymore? Or is it still the monthly membership thing?
It's officially a membership, but that is a season ticket.
I see. So, yes, you got it, I'm assuming.
Actually, no.
Interesting.
So they said right from early doors that they aren't opening the north and the south stand. So the stand that produces the majority of the atmosphere and the stand where I sit, they're only opening the west and the east. And after what happened with the Watford game, I just can't be bothered. The irony of it being against a team that can't get their pitch in order either at Blackburn is not lost on me. But yeah, we went to all of the games over Christmas and would have been to 4 in 10 days had it not been for the weather this past weekend. So I'm going to give it a miss. We've seen Blackburn at home already this season. So
yeah, is this one live on TV? I don't know if it is.
For the sake of the viewing public, I bloody well hope not.
Oh, dearie me. Well, it's Mr. Woodmansey's team, so he will give the last prediction of the week. I've gone, by process of elimination, people should be able to work this one out. I've gone for a 1-1 draw with Hull to win on penalties. I've gone for Crooks and Cantwell as my goal scorers. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw daggers being thrown in my general direction by at least one member of the podcasting fraternity. So, what goal scorers have you got, Matt, in your 1-1 draw?
1-1 draw with Hull to win on penalties?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I do have different goal scorers. I have Ndala.
Oh, that's fine then.
Ndala and Montgomery.
Charles Montgomery Burns. Lovely. So he's not going to be there, but how does he see it playing out?
We have played Blackburn at home already this season. We have already been burnt at home by Blackburn this season. Our pitch was burnt by our own ground staff last weekend. And I think we will be burnt by Montgomery this weekend. So I've gone for a 0-1 Blackburn win.
Another Charles Montgomery Burns.
Yeah.
Is there something about this Montgomery fellow that I don't know about or something?
He's a substitute attacking midfielder, I think. So I think probably me and Matt have gone down the same route there.
Fair enough. And this, you say this all about like it's the pitch was done with a blowtorch. Was it not the edges of the pitch, like the sort of the AstroTurf section?
No, it is AstroTurf after about probably 2 feet, but the bit where they were burning was obviously. I mean, I'm no expert groundsman, but
hey?
I'm 100% sure that neither real grass nor plastic grass will react well to direct flame. It's just a hunch that I've picked up over the years. Maybe I don't know.
I am shocked to hear this, as I was under the impression that at least 2 of us in the group were groundsmen, as our group chat seems to indicate that we both are.
Genuinely, the only thing funnier last weekend of their attempts could have been if they'd have tried to, seeing as all the supporters were in the ground already, they could have got us to sit on the edge of the pitch to try and use our arses to heat it up slightly.
Well, I was just going to say, why didn't they invite everyone down to the edge of the pitch and just go, Just blow on it very, very very, very heavily, and just try and thaw it out a little bit like that.
Well, they could have. They
Yeah.
couldn't tip boiling water on it in case it cracked. So, tip cold water on it. That would have worked, right? Oh no, wait a minute. That's windscreens. Shit, I'm getting mixed up again.
Yeah. It's. I don't think. I think it's one of those, isn't it? I don't think it's going to go away. That I think it's like. I don't think we've heard the end of it. I think there's a potential that they might end up with a little bit of bother about it.
I think it will go as far as Watford want to cry about it, because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the referee that makes the final decision. And yes, what the teams say has to be taken, but it's the referee's call. So if they're saying, "Oh well, we wanted to play it," so did about nearly 23,000 other people in that stadium were happy for you to play it. But it didn't happen. So if Hull have put out a statement saying that it was agreed by all parties, that's probably because the referee's gone, I'm deeming it unsafe, I'm calling it off, and they've had to all go, okay then. It's not. It's cost Watford travelling fans money. It's not cost Watford themselves hardly anything, because if anything, it'll cost Hull, because they've still had to pay for all the stadium staff for the day. There'll be all of the. Granted, the bit I'm grumpy about is the fact that obviously they took all the money for the food and drink before the ground and nothing to show for it in. But they will have got food and drink ordered for half time, which will then go to waste, because so it's not. It's financially, it's going to cost Hull more than it'll cost Watford. The only thing it costs Watford is time, and it's a bit of an inconvenience now that it'll probably be a Tuesday night in February. I think realistically, the best way it can be sorted out is if both of them absolutely goose their FA Cup game this weekend and we get a spare Saturday down the line.
Yeah, that's true. I'd like to think that they would try and do that. If it sort of like turned out that they did have a weekend where they could fit it in, it would be nice if they tried to do that. But we'll see.
But again, though, that's probably on the league as much as it is on the clubs.
Yeah, true. Because they'll want to get it sorted sooner rather than later, won't they? So they want to try and get it in the first available sort of like space there is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all of the games predicted, done and dusted. Does anyone have anything they would like to bring to the table before we end this week's show?
Well, we've sat here and talked for a little while about football in January and not mentioned the fact that the transfer window is now open.
Oh, yes, I had forgotten about that. Yes, that is very true.
So the man who supports the team that isn't actively allowed to sign anybody brings.
Not technically true. They can bring in free transfers.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, we have made a signing. I said to you guys already, haven't I? But I presume that he might end up being for the youth setup. Where is the thing that I had before? It's typically got. There we go. So we have signed James DeBayo, apparently a promising young defender. So, but I believe he's only 18 years old. But they made a big fuss about it online, and they don't normally do that with all of the under-21s signings. So I assume that at worst, he's probably going to be one of those that floats between the under-21s and the bench and covers a bit. So may even see him get a bit of a run out in the FA Cup game, potentially.
Maven?
May even.
Ex-WWE star Maven.
When we were up at...
kicking him up.
When we were up at the Riverside, in the away end with us was former Hull City captain Ian Ashby, whose son Stan Ashby was on the bench that night. So I would assume that he will probably get a run out this weekend as well.
Very nice. Matt, you looked like you were about to say something.
Just obviously, Forest have obviously been an ongoing saga about Forest redeveloping the ground. Obviously, its main focus has been on doing the main stand as it was known for many years, or the Peter Taylor stand as it's known now. They've now resubmitted plans to change the ground into a 50,000-seater stadium. Getting rid of, they had plans to build apartments, but something like before they were predicted to make a profit, they're now predicted to make a £3 million loss. So the apartments have been binned. We're just going to build a massive stadium that definitely won't cost loads of money and not cost extra stuff anyway. But never mind. Yes. So new plans to go in to turn the ground into a 50,000-seater stadium.
Impressive.
As one of the people I saw online say, it'll be the nicest stadium in the championship. But yeah, less said about that, the better. I mean, to be fair, someone replied, "We might be finished by the time we get back in."
Anyway, what do you mean becoming the nicest stadium in the championship? West Ham are trying to do that with the London Stadium, aren't they?
That is not a nice stadium. It doesn't matter where it is. It wouldn't be the nicest stadium in League One or League Two either.
Yeah, very good point. I did see something where it was rumoured that if they do go down, there's a possibility they could get not evicted, because I don't think that'll be the case, but they might have to switch to play at a different stadium. I don't know how much truth was in it, but yeah, that'd be interesting.
They seem to be under a constant threat of eviction, being as they are like renters there.
Tenants, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes. So we'll see what happens with the new Forest Stadium. So there we go. We're at the end of our enforced break. So it's nice to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Join us again next week, where we will go through the FA Cup games and we will bring you some more predictions for Forest, Borough and Hull City. Until then, thank you very much, as always, for listening. And we will see you next week. Tatty bye for now.
So there we go, what do you think of that? Another one done, another one gone. Big thank you for watching, big thank you for listening, big thank you for being here. Before you leave us, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. And check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with us. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to these grumpy old men talk about football. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.